In previous modules, we were talking about the company financials. We're trying to see if the company is worthy of receiving our loan. In this module, we will talk about the structure of a loan. So in the structure of a loan, we have different components that we want to put together. We have the borrower who is borrowing, which is usually the name of the company. We have the guarantor who is going to stand in the case of a default, which is usually the parent company. We have the lenders, the people that are providing the loans. We have the facility type. Is it a term loan, meaning you are giving everything upfront, or a revolving credit, meaning you are committing part of it now and then committing other parts later on. We're talking about the likes of seniority. What kind of loan are we giving? Is the company owing some other debt before now? Is our company's loan to this company the first? And what kind of asset is backing our loan? So we're talking about the issue of senior secured, which is the highest form of loan. So in the case of a default, that would first be paid. Talking about senior debt is the one that first, and then talk about subordinated. This is the last in the hierarchy. So in terms of interest, it goes down. So the senior secured has the lowest interest because it starts with the company pay. And then the next thing, talk about facility size. How much are we giving out here? Talk about currency. In what currency is this loan being denominated? Usually it's USDC according to Goldfinch. Coupon is what is the interest rate? It's usually determined. Talk about X%. What is the tenor or period like? And then we have interest payments. Are we paying the interest upfront or are we paying it every month? Talk about stuff like that. The other thing is principal payments. So you're borrowing out X amount. How do you want the payment to be? Do you want it to be paid everything in full at the end of the tenure, or you want it to be paid in part? If you want everything to be paid in full, we're talking about bullets. If you want it to be paid in part, like say every month, we're talking about the likes of amortizing loan. So let's talk about collateral. So collateral is basically what a business pledges for a loan, right? That is why you can see this stuff on the screen. You have a stamp, like what you're locking down. So there are two kinds of collateral. When it comes to decentralized finance, we have on-chain collateral. That is where you have the likes of compound requires crypto. Maybe you lock up some Ethereum or BTC to get some loans. It's for the crypto survey. You have to understand MetaMask and the rest of them. It's costs a lot of gas. Most of the times it's over collateralized. So let's say, for example, you have X amount and then you can only draw down 50% all of it per time. And then it's usually volatile, it goes up and then the rest of them. And then one of the likes of compound, Aave, and the host of others. The next is using real world asset as collateral. So we have the likes of receivables, what this company is likely to receive. We have other assets, things like properties, plants, factories, equipment, buses, anything that is of real world value. Then we have cash in the bank and other stuff that can be pledged as a collateral also. So the next thing we'll now talk about is covenant. So covenant is basically an agreement between the borrower and the lender stipulating the terms and conditions of the loan. So we have different kinds of covenant. We have the financial covenants that talks about the loan to value ratio. So we're talking about how much are we giving out here, and then what is the value of the company. Those are the things you want to look into. We're talking about the debt to equity. How much debt are we talking about for the company, and then what is the equity like. And then we'll talk about the minimum cash that a company is supposed to have in the balance sheet for the company at every point in time. So how much is the company supposed to have in their accounts while all through the period of the loan? These are things that are supposed to be put there. Then we'll have the likes of portfolio confidence. What is the days past due? Things like loss rates. If the company is at loss, it's not supposed to exceed so percent during the time of this loan, because you don't want to be at a risk. Then we'll talk about information covenants. What sort of information are we likely to receive? Like the company financials want to know what's happening. We want to know about portfolio, what is the portfolio of the company during this period. Then any other reports that the lender deems fit to collect from the borrower. And the next thing we'll talk about documentation. So after you've sat down and sought every single piece, the lender, the borrower, everything, you want to bring a term sheet. So what differentiates a term sheet from a facility agreement is that of the legal binding stuff. So a term sheet is not a legal binding document, it's basically a document that outlines every single thing. So you bring it and then every single person goes through it and says, okay, you're okay with this, include this, include that. And then once you finalize that, then you can now bring it to the facility agreement. And then the facility agreement is now the legally binding document that both parties, the lenders and the borrower, put their signature to. And then that one is enforceable in the court of law. So what could be included in the facility agreement? We have things like loan agreements, the structure of the loan, how much, how it's going to be repaid, and all that stuff. We have the action for security agreements. That is what empowers the lender to either possess or sell off the collateral of the borrower. And then we have guarantors agreements. That is what empowers the lender to go after the guarantor in the case of a default, or hold the guarantor responsible in case of a default. So that's basically everything about the module 4. See you in the next module. Thank you very much.